MichellePKing, The Fix, Overcome the Invisible Barriers That Are Holding Women Back at Work. In The Fix, Overcome the Invisible Barriers That Are Holding Women Back at Work, author MichellePKing delves into the centuries-old patriarchal norms that permeate the workplace and the invisible barriers that hinder women from reaching their full potential. Through an in-depth analysis of gender roles, unconscious expectations, and the flaws of the workplace, King calls for a radical shift in organizational culture, leadership, and policies to foster a more inclusive work environment. This book summary highlights the challenges women face in their careers, reveals 6 invisible barriers during the achievement phase, emphasizes the need for men to become allies, and outlines the leadership skills necessary to build an egalitarian workplace.
Unconscious gender expectations. The belief that women are inferior to men is ingrained in society, stemming from the hierarchical division of labor during the agricultural revolution. Gender roles are accepted without question and lead to unconscious expectations. Society attributes value to men's work but not home and child care, associating leadership and power with masculinity. Companies implement diversity in anti-harassment training, flexible work arrangements, and parental leave, but these only provide temporary solutions. Women are excellent leaders, and the workplace needs to change, not the women. Inequality in ideal workers. The book highlights the portrayal of an ideal worker in the TV show Mad Men, who is characterized by traits such as ambition, decisiveness, and competitiveness, but is only suited for a white man without a family. The author argues that women who choose to be themselves at work are often undervalued and underappreciated. The book emphasizes the need to address this inequality and not leave it for women to solve alone, as it is a systematic issue that affects various groups in the workplace. Modern sexism and racism. The book looks at how modern sexism and racism manifest in our society. People tend to trust others who are like them, while denying the existence of inequality and discrimination against women and people of color. Modern sexism is rooted in the belief that biological differences cause gender segregation in the workplace. Women face both visible barriers, like discriminatory policies, and invisible barriers, such as undervaluing their leadership style. Diversity programs can be threatening to some male white workers. Gender parity can be achieved in cultures that promote equality. Women at work. The workplace is still male-dominated and favors stereotypical masculinity. Women must navigate the aggressive and competitive office politics which prioritize individual pursuits over company goals. Building informal work relationships with male colleagues is challenging. Women can't be too masculine without being seen as pushy, and neither can they be too feminine without inviting harassment. Men tend to promote other men because they build informal relationships with them. Women and men have different experiences advancing at work, and workplaces were not designed to accommodate this fact. Invisible barriers women face in their careers. Women encounter 6 invisible obstacles in the achievement phase of their careers, including conditioning, standards of success, gender roles, confidence, performance inequality, and gender biases. These barriers can impede women's progress, damage their confidence, and limit their success. Leaders unconsciously prefer male applicants, and women must act more assertive and warm, rather than dominant, to establish competence. Women must also exceed expectations to demonstrate their abilities, which can lead to performance and pay inequality. Gender biases, like assuming female success is due to luck, can wear women down and cause them to internalize these barriers. To overcome these obstacles, women must identify them and connect with other women who share similar experiences. Managers should also provide opportunities that demonstrate women's competence. Gender inequality in the workplace. Although more women are entering the workforce, only 39% of managers are women. Women face various challenges, including negative gender norms, role conflict, the part-time penalty, the motherhood tax, and carrying both the mental and emotional load. Despite equal entry rates into the workforce, only 39% of managers are women. Women face numerous barriers in the middle phase of their career, including negative gender norms, role conflict, the part-time penalty, the motherhood tax, and carrying the mental and emotional load. Negative gender norms refer to situations when bosses make gendered jokes that undermine women's credibility. These moments of inequality occur daily and can bake gender inequality into a firm's culture if not checked. Role conflict arises when women encounter the perceived conflict between being an ideal worker versus an ideal mother. To support working mothers, employers should understand and accommodate their needs, including flexible working arrangements. Working part-time is often the option for mothers, and firms that value equality should embrace working women and men who will likely become parents. The motherhood tax means that pregnant women must work hard to prove their competence, and mothers work even harder to overcome the bias that they won't work devotedly. However, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis found that mothers outperformed childless women at every career stage, with women with 2 children having the highest productivity. Finally, working mothers carry the mental and emotional load of being both an ideal mother and an ideal worker, leading to a no-win situation. Fathers and mothers need to manage career and home responsibilities equally to ensure working mothers' well-being. With these changes, women can overcome the challenges in the middle phase of their career and reach senior leadership positions. Overcoming hidden barriers for women in leadership. Women in leadership face hidden barriers such as gender discrimination, typecasting, and backlash. They can be supported by promoting from within, establishing company-wide values, and ensuring diversity efforts are not solely the responsibility of women and minorities. Even when women attain higher status at work, they still face hidden barriers that affect their advancement. Firstly, women face challenges in accessing quality leadership opportunities. Companies often set women up to fail by assigning them challenging roles that reinforce the incompetence bias. Secondly, stereotypical typecasting perpetuates gender bias. Calling a woman sweetheart, girl, or ice maiden sets the tone for how coworkers view her. Thirdly, the issue of identity conflict arises as people judge women leaders by their looks as well as their work, which should not be a measure of their success. Fourthly, women often face isolation and in-group favoritism which can lead to a lonely work experience. Fifthly, women face backlash when they do well in male-dominated workplaces which can lead to social penalties such as isolation, reduced incentives, and sexual harassment. Lastly, the legitimacy of women leaders is often in dispute, and instead of promoting women to fill quotas, focus should be on stopping inequality. How can we overcome these barriers? Firstly, men can support women leaders by grooming them for leadership roles from the start. Secondly, establishing company-wide values that set fair expectations and encourage people to feel safe sharing their unique identities is key. Thirdly, we need to ensure that diversity efforts are not solely the responsibility of women and minorities. Lastly, ending inequality should be the main focus rather than filling quotas. By taking these steps, women in leadership can overcome hidden barriers and achieve their full potential. Rethinking Masculinity. The book challenges toxic masculinity and encourages men to become allies to women and minorities in the workplace. It emphasizes the importance of valuing family roles and speaking up against derogatory remarks. Men are encouraged to engage in conversations about workplace experiences and be more honest about their family duties and work hours. The book also points out how men's tendency to be emotionally detached in dangerous situations can be harmful. Overall, the book encourages men to redefine success and embrace a more inclusive and supportive approach to masculinity. Redefining masculinity and promoting equality in the workplace. Men in high-risk professions are encouraged to ask for support and share their emotions to redefine masculinity in the workplace. Leaders in such fields prioritize safety and reward workers for spotting unsafe practices. The same success can be achieved by promoting equality in the workplace and creating a culture of inclusiveness through mentorship, awareness raising, and encouraging team members to share their inequality journey. Despite surviving the glass cliff, female CEOs are less likely to be rewarded. To address this inequality, leaders should speak up when they witness injustice and work toward incorporating equality goals into business practices and brand messages. Educating workers about different experiences and eliminating invisible barriers can reduce resistance to change. Future leadership skills. As automation continues to replace human labor, new industries will emerge that require soft skills like teaching and collaboration, which are often attributed to more feminine leadership styles. Studies show that women typically adopt a more democratic approach to leadership, while men tend to be more transactional. To prepare for the future, organizations must encourage a variety of skills and promote workplace equality.
MichellePKing's The Fix provides a thorough examination of the complex challenges and inequalities that women encounter in the workplace. By highlighting the invisible barriers women face at various stages of their careers, King advocates for systemic changes in the organizational culture and policies, as well as greater support from male colleagues in championing gender equity. The book encourages organizations to adopt a more diverse and inclusive leadership approach, which will benefit all employees and prepare businesses for the future demands of a rapidly evolving world. Ultimately, The Fix serves as both a call to action and a valuable resource for dismantling the patriarchal structures that continue to undermine the progress of women in professional settings.